ZvT, ZvT. Why is there so much shit in ZvT? Let's find out with JunO. Hello, sir.
Oh, hello.
Hello, Master JunO. Can you help us?
Of course, of course.
Only because
I'm
we have
here
the
with the
same
wise man.
portrait.
This is the best portrait. It's the only one I've ever used.
Overlord of Terror, pretty gnarly. This is JunO of the esteemed Bear Me clan. Isaac's team.
Yes. Okay, so there were just a few things I wanted to go over with this game in particular. This is the... Oh no, this is not the 2-on-1 game. It will do. I think this was the one where they did like a Hellbat push.
Yeah, it was a Marine Stim Hellbat Medivac push.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay, let's have a look. But generally, like, the issue with your ZvT is, like, I feel like you're a little bit unfamiliar with, like, how much you need to make to hold, like, specific things.
Correct.
Or how... or, like, when you can and can't drone. So there's, like, a few things that is a dead giveaway that Terran is generally doing something a little bit dodgy. So he's playing mega greedy here. This is an example of someone watching Clem play and just kind of following. So it's a little variant on 2-on-1. This is not a real build because usually you still go 1-1-1 into 2-on-1 with 4 Hellions. So this is just like a strictly worse version, but it's quite confusing when they do stuff like this. So, interesting start. You're joining quite well. Like, you're keeping your lings active, you're poking in, which is good. So not too much to see here. Like, you see a very late Hellion, which should be... So, essentially, if they don't open Reaper and you see like an opening like this, where they kind of just bank Marines and they just randomly have 2 Hellions out like this. Generally speaking, if they do progress like this, they won't really show you the Hellions. So you will have to suicide on Overlord to see it. But yeah. But this kind of like Marine banking into Hellion push like indicates some kind of like 2-base push with Hellbats. So making more lings here, that's good. 6 things. The queens are wildly out of position.
They should be just between my natural and third, mostly.
Yeah. Generally, yeah. So like a good tip on like just avoiding Hellion harass in general is like, yeah, you keep your queen there. Your overlord should be much further out to see like the Hellions early, like maybe like even out to like here. And you just have like your lings sitting behind the mineral line in your natural in case if they do attempt to run by. And you mostly want to guard the third and your creep. So that's something to keep in mind. So this game was mostly a matter of supply block. It was mostly supply block. Wasn't really anything like too fancy or interesting. Like, you didn't kill your drones. Losing a third, it's fine. It's not the end of the world.
Losing the queens is pretty rough, though.
Yeah, that's pretty rough. But it's just like you just had like things ready and like they were just not... You're just a little bit late on time.
Yeah, I think having a more assertive overlord, like you said right here, I would have seen the attack coming from a lot further away. I think part of the issue is I make my second Overlord sit here to see which way the Reaper's gonna go, but then after my creep is there, it's redundant, so it should move up to mid-mount.
Absolutely. You're right. A really good run by here. Really good run by. So one thing to keep in mind with run by, this applies to either like mid, like really early stage of the game like this, or even late game, is whenever you have a Ling run by that's like attempting to go in, and you have to reroute like a larger number of Lings outside of your defenses, whatever Lings that do come out straight away all have to be Banelings. So this isn't largely to save time, but I've always said this, the only way like a Zerg that already has the Lings out to increase army value is to just turn it into Banelings. So the big thing here was like, this was really good. You did really well here. But like, all of these had to be Banes, because if you like, from just assessing like the situation, like he turned around here, if you hold, you win. That's kind of the general consensus.
Yeah, because I have 52 to 36 now. So if I can stabilize with my bases, then I'm super ahead.
Yeah, exactly. Like you still have creep near your third. You remade queens, mind drops. Like this type of stuff happens. Wasn't too bad. Yeah, that's fine. That was fine. Like he just landed a third. Obviously you're very economically ahead. And you see this, like as soon as they hold, like they should just move out. So you just need to turn them all into Banelings. So that was the main mistake here. So the second runway of 10 is fine, it's good. If you have the creep, you can do it. Yeah, they just have to be turned into Bane straight away. Like whether you see this push or not, it's just a general rule of thumb. As soon as you start splitting your Lings, you have to morph them into Banelings.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And like it saves time for your Lings to come out, because he can't really engage into a ball of Banelings, especially on creep. So yeah, so that's the main takeaway from this game. But it applies at any stage of the game, like whether early, mid, or late.
Queen positioning could be better. Overlord positioning could be better to absorb that first attack, and then for all of my Ling counters, I can just hold down the Baneling key and then be safe at home.
Yes.
I think this was the Ultra one.
I think so.
They opened CC first, so I skipped early Lings. I feel like if I go for the 4 Lings, there are enough Marines to defend it by the time they get over there anyway.
Yeah. Generally like a hard punish for like CC first, and if you see a first CC, you can just go Roach Ling and kill them. Okay. So we'll skip the paint drying phase of the game.
But what if we had 6 workers to start?
It's a little bit more spicy. Okay, because this CC first would have started 50 seconds later. There's just that much more hype to build up.
Okay, my queens are better positioned this time. Yeah, this Overlord could be... Well, I guess it's fine. Could be a little bit more forward, but I know what the build is now.
I think the first hold is fine. Like, you're making too many roaches here. So, this applies to this build, and it also applies to a really, like a newer variant of 3cc where they go 1-1-1. They'll make 4 Hellions and then switch the reactor out. And they'll go 3cc with 2-on-1. That hits around 535. Like Clem's been doing it. You can see it in the latest, the pig tournament. Clem did it against Zerol and lost. So you only really need, if you have 5 queens already, you only need 5 roaches, and you'll hold everything. So that's a small detail, doesn't really matter in this position. Like, I don't know why he's giving you time here. But yep, your roaches pop. Slightly out of position. That's okay. Yeah, like he can't fight that. Yeah, this should not have been missed, however.
Yeah.
Like, you have vision here and here. If the medevac goes out of sight, it's only place you can be is in your main. So a small detail, but like generally speaking, yep. Now, this is the point. So, if they do this, you don't necessarily have to see the third base to know that it's not 2-base all in. Because if this was a 2-base all in, he would not have traded there. He would have just poked and pulled and then regrouped with 2 tanks and like killed you. So if the fact that it commits like this already goes to show that it's not 2-base all in. So that possibility is already out of the question. So you're basically free to drone until his 2-2 is done.
So if they aggressively trade out Marine Medivac, it's probably not a 2-base all-in, because if it was a 2-base all-in, they would want their full strength all at once whenever they're trying to end the game. They wouldn't want to do chip damage and then lose the stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's very similar to the stuff that I told you really, really long time ago with Hellions. Like, if the Terran is really passive with their Hellion movement, they don't want to take queen volleys. Like, they won't die to exposed tumors. It means they're going Hellbats.
Yeah, but if they're like scooting up at the edge of your creep and trading out Hellion HP and then pulling them back, then it's probably not a Hellbat attack. Because you get really
most likely not
value on the conversion from Hellion to Hellbat.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I think I could have used it as sort of a cue of whenever I kill the first Medivac and then the other Medivac is just like really hurt and stuff, I can probably just drone up to 75 before I do anything else.
Absolutely. So like making more units here is just like completely unnecessary, because like he can't really move out. Like, the only thing you're really scared of is like a big push with a bunch of tanks and bio that's like setting up. Like, you have a lot of creep that's active already. And like, you already traded 2 Medivacs worth of units. And essentially, like, if you have like some ground units in ready and like just a few lings to start immediately morphing into banelings as soon as you see them move out, like, you're always going to be safe. So here you just had to drone to at least 85, like 85, 90. So yeah, you see this, you're not really scared. It's 3 Medivacs, you have plenty of units. Your upgrade's a little bit slower, but it's fine. Again, like, I'm gonna skimp out on the small details, like missed, because this is just a mistake when you look up to get the +1. So that's fine. Okay. Unit's a little bit out of position, but generally, yeah, like he can't really do much. So like this was the mistake. This 13 roaches should have been drones.
Yeah.
Should have been drones. Like, as soon as a 4th pop, just throw down a 5th. Especially if you have creep like this. Like, whichever direction that you have more creep, just expand towards that base. Because once you're at like the 85 plus to like 90, like approaching 90 drones, you have too much money generally. Like, you're banking. So a big reason why Terran and Toss continuously say Zerg is broken is because of that. If they give you a volley of time where you can drone, they will get to 90, they will take 5 bases, and there's very little they can do to deny it. And then Zerg, and no matter how the trade goes, the Zerg always trades favorably because Zerg has more money. That's the game state that you want this to go into. At the moment, you're playing too honestly. Like, You're both sitting 65-ish, like on average.
Mm-hmm.
Like Terran's not making any more workers. You're not making any more workers.
Yeah. It's a
And you're just
65
kind of
worker
letting this
showdown.
happen. Exactly.
Yeah, I can be applying pressure by having more drones. That's a good concept.
Absolutely.
Because I know there's no fourth. I guess that's part of the thing is I don't see a fourth base, so I don't know if they're going to hit me with like a 2.5 base attack. I don't even know if I scouted the third. I did not. Yeah, I guess I could just overseer scout. And then if I saw the gases there, then it's totally fine for me to drone as much as I want.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
But he doesn't really want to push like until 2-2.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, like I said earlier, like if the Terran trades unfavorably on the first push, they can't trade until 2-2. They can't move out till 2-2. Mm-hmm. And a big takeaway here is that it doesn't matter if they're doing like a 2.5 base all-ins. You're actually better off if you have 80 drones, because you're trading unfavorably to evenly against someone who's broke. So that has to be the win condition. So the form of pressure doesn't always just come from having more attacking units and like threatening a kill. Like if you start aggressively expanding and like expanding creep and you're taking the map control, the Terran will feel a lot more pressure in that situation. Because then they get put on the clock. Like if they don't kill you in like the next 2 minutes, they immediately lose the game. Like that's the kind of mindset that you want to put themselves into.
Yeah, because they can always increase their value with making more Banes, and they can also remax faster than Terran.
Absolutely. Like when you're on 90 drones, you can. When you're 90 drones, so at 2-2, let's say like you lose this fifth base, you just take this one, and you just set up here, and like he can't push because like it flanks. It can't push, so you can just like start. You can just sack this space, like start morphing mass Banes, and like send your roaches around here, and then try to counterattack. There's many options. This trade was good. Like any trade is better when you have more money. Yeah, but it's mostly lack of money. That's the big one. So the lurker thing I said here is like not because I want you to play lurkers necessarily. Like of course, yeah, lurkers are strong here. Lurkers are very strong, but I specifically said lurkers is because you don't have money, so you need your trades to go very favorably, or like Terran to not be able to walk in on you. And the only unit that does that is lurkers. If you're playing ultras, you're playing a composition where you're trading favorably. So in an even economy, Terran actually has more money because they're mules.
Yeah.
Nice in this game. Again, like so many opportunities here to drone. Like you could have basically droned for the past 3.5 minutes. It would have been okay. Because the Terran's not really applying pressure.
Yeah, it's more so just posturing until this push finally.
Yeah.
So exactly. I had basically until 10 minutes to drone.
Yep. Like he moved out at 2-2.
Yeah.
So you had all this opportunity to take as much creep as you want, have as much drone as you want. So you're maxed right now. If you had the drones here, you see these volley of lings?
Yeah.
Like these lings here? As soon as you see him move out, you can just shift click it around to his third. And like that also, if you hold it, it imprints like an idea on them that they get more and more afraid to move out, even though they should. It's like the similar thing with like Protoss. Like the biggest issue I think like non-professional level Zergs have with even professional level Zergs have with Protoss is like they don't split their army evenly enough, and 10 charge loss walk in and there's just kill 2 bases. It's a very similar thing. So we are always in the position of they need to make something happen, we just need to hold.
Yeah.
Yeah, and PVT and like PVZs are very similar. Like they just need to make something happen. We just need to hold.
Mm-hmm.
So when you do postures like that, when you are threatening, like I am gonna walk around and just kill you, if you do attempt to move out, like even like very slowly and methodically, like this especially. So like, this is good here. This was a very good fight. Very very good fight. Excellent surround.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't even close, right? Like,
Nope.
it was a good fight.
Yeah, I could even drone my 5th as a result of this.
Correct.
Just make a round of drones at it right now. Go up to
Correct.
85, 90, take the gases, and that would allow me to afford the tier 3 tech.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, nice.
So you have the tier 3 tech available, and what do? You go, you make more tier 2. Like, it's completely unnecessary to push it. Like, you're not going to break through Terran units behind buildings. And more importantly, like, he's not going to be able to move out. So you had all the time here, even here. Again, you were again given an opportunity to make more lurkers. I mean, so more drones going to tier 3 tech, like lurkers. That were like 45 position. So you're at the comfortable drone count now. Going up to 80, 85, that's really good. But like, it's just more of like an instinctive, like, holy shit, like I just traded all my units, I need to remax immediately. And you just make more lings as a result of it. You don't have to. If you have lings alive, just turn them into banelings if you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like, you'd rather have the supply vacant for you to make more expensive units.
Yeah.
The same with like any game, like League of Legends, like CS:GO, card games. Like, it's more value. The army with more value will win
Yeah.
at the end of the day.
Value density.
Yeah. Like items, cards, tiers, doesn't matter. Like supply efficient units. So like, this is just like getting too horny. Like, there's absolutely like no reason to trade here.
Yeah.
If anything, if you trade unfavorably here, it just encourages them to move out.
Yeah. Yeah, this is an extremely bad trade for me.
Yeah. I mean, you've held the Liberators quite gracefully. Even this late stage in the game, that's good. But yeah, since that trade went so poorly, and now you don't have money.
Yeah.
So you have 14 extra lava you can spend right now, but you don't have money because you didn't have the time to bank on the drones that you needed. A good rule of thumb, so you always want to have 5 bases saturated as Zerg in this matchup. As soon as a base pops, just take another one. You can afford it. If they kill it, it's fine. If they don't kill it, it snowballs out of control. So taking that approach is very good.
When your 4th finishes, take a 5th right away. When your 5th finishes, take a 6th right away. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good rule.
So like, he's deep into creep. You didn't have the banelings ready. You don't have your tier 3 units. Like, you're waiting for ultras,
Yeah.
but ultras
Yeah,
don't really do much here.
could have had tier 3 a lot sooner. I think decision making wise, if I really wanted to be belligerent and just like tier 2 all in them, then I should just commit to that. Because I traded at their 3rd base while I was also getting a hive, it was like I failed at both things of having a really scary tier 2 army and then having a tier 3 transition. If I take the hive, I think I should just sit on my drones and push with the tier 3 units. That would be a better plan.
Absolutely. Yeah, you just explained it perfectly. The biggest issue is like, you're not committing to either things. Like, this is just very instinctive reaction to saying, oh shit, I traded, so I need to make more units. And you just make the first unit that your hand go to. And like even here, if you really wanted to prolong this out, like, he's deep into creep, you can just set up a run by here as well, even now, and just keep making more banelings. The only thing that prevents Terran from advancing this far into creep is lurkers or banelings.
And I didn't have any live banes because of the scuff trade I took.
Yeah, as soon as you take a scuff trade, you just need to make more banelings. Like it's similar to last game. That was much earlier stage in the game, right? As soon as you take a scuff trade, you need to make banelings. It's like your only insurance, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yep. So the rest is like he just kind of chips away. Like he can do this because there is no banelings. He's slowly getting into position. Your surround here was good. You just didn't have the army supply.
Yeah.
Or like the unit value. Yeah. Yeah, and it kind of, this is kind of just the end of the game.
Yeah.
So overall, like concept is good. It's more, you need to be greedier. As soon as you take a trade, as soon as you trade that's favorable in your position or on your half of the map, it is a cue for you to drone. So
yeah,
even
for some
like,
reason I felt like this map it wasn't as safe to get up to 85 to 90, but banelings on creep are pretty insane. You could probably still get away with it.
Yeah. And like the biggest thing with map control, because you had map control the whole game, is the big one is run by. So the biggest one would be vision, and second would be forcing run bys. If you have this much map control, then you have time. You have time. You have the vision. You have time. You can set up your army in any way you want. So like it just gives you time to take more bases, play a bit greedier, like set up run by. So like if he attempts to move out, so like let's say over here, theoretically, like if you're sitting at like 90, you've been sitting at 90 drones all this time, your bank is at 2k, you can literally just cut your army in half and then just drop a bunch of banelings here and they just roll in.
Yeah.
And then suddenly, as soon as, so he's in this position, like now he needs to commit. Do I turn around and give him time, which I really don't want to do?
Or base
Or do I just move into creep? Yeah, or do I move into creep blindly?
Yeah.
Both are bad.
Cool.
So yeah, that's kind of the biggest things that I've noticed today.
Nice. Appreciate that. So I took some notes. If it's no Reaper and it's Marine into Hellion, there's the 2 base Hellbat Marine Medivac push. My queens need to be positioned better between the natural and the third for early defense. They were kind of just spread out wherever. I need to be in a better habit of creep, shift, move to wherever that location is. And then my defensive overlords can be way more forward to see the attacks coming in. It's very much worth losing an overlord getting shot by Marines to know that that attack is coming out. And then when Lings go to counterattack, just make Banes with all the Lings I have at home. If they aggressively trade out Marine and Medivac, then it's probably not a 2 base all in. And I also have the option to just drone straight up to 90 if they do that.
Yep.
And if they take a bad fight early, they can't take another fight until 2-2. And as I noted, that was like a 10-minute-ish attack. It could be a little bit earlier if it was a better player. So we'll say 9:30 to 10 minute.
Basically.
Push potential.
It's generally around 9. He's one, despite opening CCF first was not that fast. Generally it hits around 9:30. Like 9:20 to 9:30 if they're open like Reaper Hellion into bio. But that's okay.
Okay, so we'll say 9:20 to 9:30 at earliest. Drone up to 75 to 90 with 4 base setup if they lose. Harass units without doing much damage. And then just the general rule of anytime I take a 4th, 5th, or 6th, or 7th, just take another base at the same time. Because I should be rich anyway. Nice.
The whole game just came down to like, if you have more money, you have more option. You have wiggle room to play poorly and trade poorly. It just gives you like so much buffer. You know, it's like, I don't know what the right analogy would be. But yeah, having, just like in real life, if you have more money, you can fuck up a lot more.
Wow, that's very true. You get in trouble with the law, you can pay for a really good lawyer just because you have more money. Doesn't mean that you're a good person. It just means that you had a lot of money.
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can be more wasteful. Absolutely. What your chat's saying.
Yeah. Yeah, even like setting up run by that doesn't work, but at least it pulls their attention. If you have 90 drones and you lose 20 lings, like who cares? You still have a
Yeah,
lot more
like who
stuff.
cares?
Nice. I'll think about that. Yeah, that game I was very much stuck on tier 2, so I think maybe just doing a session in ZvT where I have a plan to do Lingbane run by at tier 2 but not really move my army at them and just try to drone a shitload and then get tier 3 stuff coming online really fast. I think it'll just be a lot more difficult for them to deal with.
Yep.
Sweet.
85 drones, both ZvT and ZP. Excellent question. It is always so the only matchup where you wouldn't drone that highly is ZvZ. Although ZvZ is moving generally towards like 80 plus drones, ZvP and ZvT, Zerg's main core strength is they can rebuild really fast, and Zerg has a lot more money. They have more money because they can make a lot more workers at once. So there's always just continuously trading or attempting to trade, like splitting your army up into different positions and like forcing run bys to trade. So if you can't trade because they're just sitting there and not really moving out, then like, it gives you room to set up run bys. So as soon as they set their foot out, like units will go in and trade in a way. So more, if you have more money, you just need to trade more. It's very similar to like how card games work. Like it's general concept of like card economy. If your opponent has 5 cards and you have 7, and each card in theory like one card trades for the other one, then you have 2 extra cards and your opponent has 0. Therefore you win. It's very similar. It's very similar in StarCraft.
Yeah, and all these principles will apply in Stormgate as well, of having economy. Yep. Economy is a point of pressure. I want to make a series of RTS fundamental videos where it kind of articulates some of the things that aren't obvious to a human player of a game. And I think the power of workers is not obvious at all, how strong they are. Because when spectators watch RTS games, they look at the crazy micro of Byun and Maru doing crazy cool stuff, and they think that's where the skill is, but their ability to be that aggressive with those units is because they have fat economies behind all their cool micro plays. Yep. Cool. Well, I typed up these notes and they'll be with the post. Appreciate your help, man.
No problem. Thank you. You gonna stream a bit more?
Yeah. I'll take a break for a bit and then I'll do some commentary games and try to work on getting more than 64 drones.
Okay. I'll keep watching. Enjoy your day, man.
Take care of yourself.
Austin.
GG. Nice. Thank you, Master JunO, for the ZvT coaching.